no, this is a company bike, and we gotta follow the company rules. Man, this thing really, really rips. Hello, Team Powersports fans, and welcome back to the TPS motovlog. My name is Sarah, and I'm going to be your host today. And Mr. Yamaha has done us a favor. He has brought us the Yamaha Tenere 700. And we're about to go take this thing out on the road. So let's not mince words. Let's get right out there, get on that motorcycle, and get riding. What do you say? Oh man, this thing has a lot of pickup. So in case you weren't aware, this is actually my first time on the street on the Tenere 700. Now, this motorcycle is based on the MT-07 platform, so it's that little 700 parallel twin that uses their cross-plane crankshaft design, which means that it is a 270-degree offset crank, meaning the cylinders fire closer together and then perform a full, 270-degree rotation around the main crank before they start firing again. This makes the cylinders fire closer together instead of just one then the other, which means that you get a little bit better torque than you would with a standard parallel twin. So now that we're sitting here at this stoplight, I can tell that this is much taller here in the gas tank area than the MT-07. Obviously it has this upper fairing, no lower fairing. There's this side deflection here of like small little windscreen on the side, as well as a short windshield in the front. So far at 55 miles an hour, it does provide an adequate amount of wind protection, mostly to get the wind off of the body, not so much getting it off the helmet. I can't tell exactly where it's hitting me in the helmet, but my head is in the wind on this motorcycle. Now, what I'm immediately noticing over like the MT-07, for instance, is there is a lot of room to move around on this motorcycle. It almost reminds me, as far as like the height, distance from the seat to the foot pegs, as well as handlebar space, kind of reminds me of the first generation Africa Twin, the 1000 that came out a couple of years ago. It's a big sort of beefy feeling seating position. Very comfortable. One big difference to note between this and, for instance, the MT-07, which for the purposes of this video, I'm going to continually refer back to the MT-07 since it is based on that same engine transmission, is the gearing is different. And my friends over here at Yamaha, like my ride leader here, were telling me that it's all in the sprocket. Basically, they have geared the sprockets a little bit differently so that you get better torque. And I've got to tell you, TPS fans, I'm feeling that quite instantly. Or maybe it's just that I haven't been on an MT-07 in a while, but it's definitely a rowdy motorcycle. I've had a lot of different kind of bikes, but I've recently switched over to the adventure class because I found myself going on more, 2 to 8 hour rides, and I really wanted something that's more comfortable without sacrificing the sportiness. And I've got to tell you, TPS fans, this motorcycle is on my hot take list, maybe even for my next bike. It's small enough that you can really flick it around. And when I say flick it around, I mean it is very light feeling. It's rowdy enough to really get you into trouble, but not so screaming top-end redline, like for instance the, like a Super Sport 600 with an inline 4-cylinder is something that has so much screaming top end that you're never really going to be able to use that much motorcycle. At least not legally on the streets. But something like the Tenere 700, rowdy enough to be fun and not so wild that it's really going to get away from you. And I feel like that is that perfect blend of comfort, of performance, just all around an excellent motorcycle. I was trying to convince our ride leader here in front of me, who is also on the Tenere 700, to maybe let's hit some of these dirt roads. Because if we travel down in front of us, straight through this intersection a little ways, it will turn to dirt. But he said no, this is a company bike, and we gotta follow the company rules. Man, this thing really, really rips. I mean, that's 60 miles an hour, fourth gear, effortlessly. You know, I wasn't even putting the throttle to the maximum throttle position. So it's a lot of fun. I don't think that this is necessarily a motorcycle that you want to do a, you know, like a Saddle Sore 1000 or a coast-to-coast ride on, but just the ability to sit with your legs below you, not tucked up on rear sets or cranked way out in front, your hands set wide, and enough room to really, you know, I can sit back on the seat, I can sit forward on the seat, I can move around on the bike. And let me tell you, standing up on this motorcycle is a breeze. It's narrow enough here through the center line that I can stand up without really having to, on my bike, which is a V-Strom Adventure 650, it's like I have to grasp firmly the gas tank right through here between my legs and kind of lean over at an awkward angle to really get into a comfortable standing position. But on this Tenere 700, I'm able to go just very effortlessly from a seated to a standing position, which you adventure riders are really going to enjoy. Because, you know, you're riding down your favorite set of roads to get to your favorite set of dirt roads. Oftentimes, it's just a road that goes off into nothingness and turns into dirt. Which means you need to be able to go from a comfortable seated position to a standing and ready position in the drop of a hat. Aggressive downshifting. Alright, we're going to let him get away from us a little bit so he can hit this corner a little fast. Let's see how it does in a... Yeah, absolutely. Even with these big block off-road tires that come from the factory on the Tenere 700, which is something we're going to have to come back to here in a minute, it tracks pretty clean in corners. These tires, I believe they're the Pirelli Scorpion SVX or SVT, or going around the slow turners. They have a tread very, very similar to the Shinko 804, 805 big block tires. And having run through a set of those 804, 805s, I've got to say these are a lot smoother. I'm not getting that, you know, like the 804, 805s, they kind of have a chop. So here we are back at Team Power Sports in Garner. Unfortunately, since this is a factory demo bike that belongs in the factory demo truck, I have been confined to the parameters of this test ride. Normally I'll take a bike out for a while, you know, an hour to get all the clips I need. But hopefully I'll be able to do with what I've got what I would like to do. So typically I like to go over the motorcycle first before I get out on the road. Let's go over the motorcycle now that I have returned. So, this is it. 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700. The gas tank at 4.2 gallons is about a half gallon larger than you'd have on the MT-07. As we had discussed before, the forks are an inverted style fork, which is going to reduce unsprung weight, but also give you a shocking amount of suspension travel. And I like that they have gone with the lower fender instead of the beak. The beak has become so popular with modern adventure bikes, but I like this old school classic Dakar rally style bike. The skid plate here is from the factory. Little, is that plastic radiator guard? Yeah, I got a little plastic radiator guard on there. Let's see. These are Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR. And if you notice, it has this big, wide, blocky tread that goes all the way across the tire. Stock front tire And I love that they've done this as a similar style, but if you notice, it doesn't have like the offset treads. And I don't know if it's just a psychological thing or if I just prefer the way these look. But like the bilateral symmetry makes me feel at least like it tracks a little bit cleaner. Or at the very least, I just prefer the way that it looks. So now that I've got it running, this has the little selector switch over here. But as I go through it, it's just the odometer, air temperature, engine temperature, miles per gallon. We're getting 50.7 miles per gallon out of this bike. So at 4.2 gallons, I mean, you're talking about 200 plus miles. Yeah, 200 plus miles on a tank of gas. And this is demo rides all day, which means that it's all been like back roads, stop and go, you know. I mean, you saw the demo course that we just went on. So for it to be making 50.7 miles per gallon, that's, you know, that's nothing to turn your nose up at. Also on the dashboard, nope, that's it. Odometer, trip 1, trip 2, trip CD. I have no idea what that is. Miles per gallon. And odometer. You've got your full gas gauge here. Obviously all your indicator lights, turn signal indicators. What is that? Oh, the passing lights. Cool. Oh, passing lights. Got it. And then this is really cool. I'm not going to have a chance to test it, unfortunately. You'll see here, ABS on, off. So I push and hold. I'm in off-road mode. There is no ABS. I think that is one stellar feature. That's going to be it for the TPS Motovlog TPS fans. If you want to come by see us in person, we're here at 222 US 70 East in Garner, North Carolina. Check us out on the web, www.team-powersportsgarner.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Hopefully, we'll see you here.